Quý vị đang theo dõi chương trình Giáo dùng tiền của đài Nước Sài Gòn TV. Chị Ngọc Thịnh và chúng tôi đang bàn với ông Ron Galati và cô Lisa Hamilton từ cơ quan SBA và IRS về vấn đề loan của chính phủ trong cái mùa dịch COVID-19 này và cách làm sao để mà mình xin chính phủ tha thứ cái nợ mà mình vay của chính phủ.
I think earlier we talked about on the break time. You want to mention about how to contact the SBA?
Yes. So the best thing was, these new rules came out, the new application forms come out. We're sure you're going to have an interest in wanting to get comfortable with those forms. So I would suggest going to sba.gov. That's where you will start. We have, if you hover under funding programs and go to coronavirus relief options, you will see the PPP plan, PPP program. You will see the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program and the SBA Express and the debt relief. So everything will be there. So I encourage you to get comfortable with the information that's particularly on both the PPP and the EIDL sites.
Thank you, Ron. I think it's very good. I think we will go back on the instruction how to help people figure out the forgiveness application with you in the future. Is that okay, Ron? I think we will go back to our talk show and share what people how to handle those applications together.
Glad to do it.
Yeah, I do have a few more questions on the PPP now. What documents are required besides the simple 3508 easy application? What documents do you need to attach to that application?
So that's a good question. Definitely make sure you have your 941 reports together. Anything that shows your payroll expense for that period, that's going to be very important. Anything that relating to your retirement contributions, the amounts you spent on health insurance for your employees, and all that non-payroll expense as well, such as payments for the interest on your mortgage, the your rent or lease expense, and also any of the utility expenses. However you have those canceled checks or confirmations off the internet, but you want to gather that information. Also, you want to keep on file any of those situations where your employee left and did not return. You want to document the reasons why. That's something you keep in your file. You don't have to submit, but everything else you want to submit to your lender.
Oh, wow.
Ron, for like large organizations with, many employees or expenses, that would be a lot of work to attach, like canceled checks or receipts or invoices. So would financial statements be enough to attach to the application?
I don't believe so, but it's going to be a lender. Lenders are going to be doing this they've got some broad rules we've given them, and they're going to interpret them maybe more rigidly, and others may be more flexible. So I would take the guidance from your lender, but I would essentially be prepared to provide quite a bit of detail.
Yeah, I think it's under the eye of the bank, and when we asking for the document, we ask very detailed. We don't use just the P&L only. We may ask for the check and proof of the check and all the payment. So that's answer your question.
Well, actually, the audience questions. Also, Ron, one more thing. Also, there's an issue with full-time employees and full-time equivalent employees. Can you expand on the full-time equivalent employees definition?
Full-time employees is essentially the number of hours your employees work divided by 40. So try to get an equivalent. So you may have part-timers, like you have 20, they do work at 20 hours, they're going to be a half an FTE. Importantly, there's two, we talked about, forgiveness is going to be based on two criteria. Did you spend 60% of your money, your loan amount, on payroll? Secondly, the FTE, pre-COVID, those you had on February 15th, 2020, were you able to bring that staff back up sometime within your forgiveness period to the total head count? If you haven't, you've got explanations you can provide. But those are the two measures, and full-time equivalent is exactly like you said, Tony. That's going to be fundamentally the way they measure whether you are qualify.
Thank you. Let me do some translation now. Kính thưa quý vị, chúng tôi có hỏi ông Ron là những cái document nào để mình cần phải kèm theo cái loan, cái application để xin chính phủ tha thứ cái loan. Thì ông ta nói quan trọng nhất là cái form, những cái form payroll đó, những cái 941, 940 hoặc là những cái form của chính phủ tiểu bang như là DE9, DNIC, đại khái như vậy. Và nếu trường hợp mình có trả tiền như là mortgage hoặc là tiền interest hoặc là tiền rent thì phải có những cái cancel checks, những cái biên lai, những cái lease agreement với lại người chủ đất. Chúng tôi hỏi ông ta là nếu trường hợp mà những hãng lớn mà nhiều nhân viên quá, nhiều check quá thì làm sao mà có thể kèm theo được, thì ông ta nói là mình phải ráng kèm theo. Chúng tôi hỏi là nếu như vậy, trường hợp như vậy mình có thể mình gửi cái bản lời lỗ được không, cái financial statement được không, thì ông ta nói là mình phải check lại với ngân hàng của mình, và có thể là ngân hàng sẽ giải nghĩa rõ ràng hơn là người ta cần cái gì để mình submit với lại cái application để xin chính phủ tha thứ cái nợ.
I think we still have a lot more talking about the PPP program as well as the forgiveness and the new program is EIDL. But let's talk with Lisa first. Then we go back to EIDL. Is that okay, Ron? Yes. Okay, Lisa.
Thank you. I hope you're not falling asleep.
Sorry.
You still. Anyway, Lisa, first question. There are also another tax benefit that is available to the business people. It's the employee retention credit. Can you explain that?
So for the answer for the IRS response to is the CARES Act. Under the CARES Act, employers that may not fall into these guidelines of PPP or they do not want to take the EIDL loan can take a credit, and that is the employee retention credit. And what it is, it's 50% of up to $10,000 for all of your employees. The way you retrieve that credit is through your 941s. So you're automatically able to take that 50% reduction, which is $5,000. And it's very good because this response came quickly, and so a lot of employers were able to take this credit and get their employees back to work and get their payroll taxes paid and their wages paid. However, if the employers did a PPP loan, you cannot do both. You can only take one or the other. And that's the same part of if you defer your employment taxes, you can only take your employment tax credit or your employee retention credit or that 3P loan or the EIDL loan. Because those loans have that forgiveness in it, you will be getting a double deduction if you took both. So it's one or the other.
So the next year, 2020, tax will be very interesting.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Yes.
Now, you were saying how much again? Up to how much credit? 5,000 per
employee. Mm-hmm.
And
it's
if you have if you're deferring your payroll tax or you receive money from the PPP, you can't get. You have to decide which one you get.
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
And so for the first part of that 3P loan, they allowed you to pay it back if you had taken the employee retention credit. And some of the businesses needed to take that credit to get up and going right away without, waiting for the 3P loan to come through. So yes.
Kính thưa quý vị, chúng tôi bắt đầu nói chuyện với bà Lisa Hamilton. Câu hỏi đầu tiên chúng tôi hỏi bà ta là chúng tôi nghe nói là có một cái credit là người ta gọi là Employee Retention Credit, có nghĩa là chính phủ cho mình cái tiền credit, cái tiền thuế trả lại cho không phải là deduction. Nếu mà mình giữ được nhân viên thì bà ta nói là cái chương trình đó có, cái đó là cho mỗi nhân viên như vậy up to là 5.000 đồng credit. Có nghĩa là nếu mình nợ thuế là 10.000 đồng trong cái payroll thì mình trừ đi 5.000, mình chỉ đóng 5.000 thôi. Tuy nhiên phải quan trọng là có 3 cái benefits. Thứ nhất là cái employee retention credit, cái thứ hai là defer cái employer portion của cái payroll tax, và cái thứ ba là cái chương trình PPP loan. Thì mà mình không thể nào lợi dụng cả 3 cái được, mà mình phải chọn một trong 3 cái mà mình xài.
5.000 là
5 up to 5.000 một nhân viên. Cho nên những người nào muốn sử dụng những cái benefits nào thì mình phải liên lạc với người CPA của mình để người ta tính là cái nào có lợi cho mình thì mình xài cái đó. Chúng tôi xin quý vị vẫn tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình, chúng tôi sẽ trở lại quý vị trong giây phút.